It's 8:22 on the Big 550 KTRS, and it is Friday, which means a lot of people looking forward to the latest releases in the box office and going to the movies.
Yep, we have some good ones out right now.
Are you a moviegoer with a 6-year-old?
I used to be. I'm not now because I have a 6-year-old. You know, my husband and I will go. We want to say dinner and a movie, and we go to dinner, and we're like, oh, we're so tired.
We're so tired.
That's what happens.
You should do the movie first, then dinner.
Right, that's exactly right. So.
David Blaustein is with us, the ABC Entertainment editor, and we've got some big movie openings this weekend, and some of them people have been waiting a long time for this Pixels. We've been seeing it for about 4 months of it coming out. Now it's finally here.
Yes, that's true, and apologize for my voice. I've been a little under the weather all week, so I apologize for speaking low. Pixels, highly anticipated just because of the first trailer that came out. Very enticing looking, if you will. You have video game characters from the 1980s like Pac-Man and Centipede coming down from the sky and attacking us, which is kind of hilarious. And then maybe not so anticipated because it's an Adam Sandler movie, and Adam Sandler has really become long in the tooth. And I'm a former Adam Sandler apologist and still am just a little bit, but the only apologizing I can do here is saying sorry about this movie if you go see it.
Really?
Because it is pretty bad and just doesn't work. It's a blown opportunity for clever humor. I mean, you could have had some clever commentary and a lot of funny jokes about gamers today and gamers yesterday and the state of pop culture, but instead it's just every other Adam Sandler movie that used to work really well, but it stops working when you repeat it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And Kevin James playing the President of the United States will never, ever work, ever.
Let's go to something you might like. How about Paper Towns?
Paper Towns I can't review because I didn't see.
Oh, you
Shouldn't
didn't
even be on your list. So I know.
All right. How about did you get the chance to see Southpaw yet?
Southpaw I did see, and Southpaw I could probably talk about for an hour.
Okay.
Everyone loves a good boxing movie, let's be honest.
And I'm thinking it's got to be a positive if you can talk an hour about it.
Yes, that's a true story. Look, it's not breaking any ground here. I mean, it's a boxing movie full of all the boxing cliches. You know, guy at the top of his game loses everything and needs to make a comeback, and it's going to be inspirational, of course, but, the difference with this movie, well, there are a couple of things. One, it's made by Antoine Fuqua, who's a really great filmmaker who has a knack for turning things that are cliche into something that's very personal and gritty and something very raw, and that's kind of what you get here. And what helps is that he's got Jake Gyllenhaal, who really is becoming the second coming of Daniel Day-Lewis in my book. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is an amazing actor. I mean, make no mistake. He might have played Bubble Boy once, and he might have been Donnie Darko, and he was great in Donnie Darko. But this is a world-class actor. This is one of our best film actors. The transformation, that's fine. A lot of actors do that. You know, maybe it's not that incredible, although it is fairly incredible, and he looks amazing, and the way he learned to box is really good. But just the rawness of his performance and the realness of his performance, which is what every actor endeavors to do. They want to tell the truth. You know, it's a lie because it's a made-up story, but they want to be truthful, and he is the truth. And you get plus he's with Forrest Whitaker, who's an Oscar winner already.
Love him.
Forrest Whitaker plays the guy who's going to train him and help him with his comeback. And these are two kind of broken guys who have had a tough time. And there's one scene where they're sitting in the gym together on the side of the ring, and they're talking to each other about their issues, and it's just such a great scene. I tell a lot of people, or tell a lot of actors, especially if they're interested in doing film acting or improving themselves, I say, just go watch Jake Gyllenhaal's last few films, because that guy puts on a clinic. I mean, it's just, this movie's simply worth seeing just for Jake Gyllenhaal. Again, it's not breaking any new ground. There are a lot of cliches in this movie, so it's not terribly original, but it's just Jake Gyllenhaal's searing performance. So 4 out of 5 stars for that.
Oh, good.
And I'm looking at it. He got in shape for this film.
He's cut, yeah.
Yes, I know. That's not easy.
No. His abs are like 3D in this film.
Wow.
Well, the romantic comedy Trainwreck had been doing amazingly well at the box office, filling theaters all across the country. Unfortunately, I think it's going to have a black mark, unfairly so, because it is what was airing at the theater at the shooting in Lafayette, Louisiana. How does that impact? How do you think that could impact the gate of that movie, or will it?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say either way. It's almost impossible to know. I mean, we saw with the Dark Knight, and nobody really knows if that affected the box office of that movie. I mean, probably if a few people who would have otherwise gone maybe didn't go, but I don't know if it's really going to have any effect on the film. To be quite honest with you, it's horrible that everybody involved with that movie is going to have that associated with them. But it's tough for them. But obviously, it's far worse for the people who were at that theater and the people who were injured and lost their lives and suffered an unimaginable traumatic situation.
David, it's not good for the industry, however, though, when two of the biggest mass shootings in recent years have been in theaters. That alone has got to start impacting, I would imagine, some people seeing it as a threat location.
And late night. Both of these happen, later show times.
Right.
It definitely puts a pall over going to the movies. I mean, it really does, especially if you're going to go late. This wasn't that late. I think this was a 7:00 screening. The other one was
10 o'clock or something, right? Yeah. But I mean, evening as opposed to a matinee.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not good, but I really, in the long run, I don't really think it's going to stop people from going to the movies.
Right.
These I still want to say they're isolated incidents. They happen 5 years apart. It has happened a couple of times. Unfortunately, we have lunatics who like to copycat and do things like that. But movie theaters also need to, if they need to take steps to make sure that their venues and their place of business is a
metal
secure
detectors,
place
right?
where people feel safe. Then I mean, they should do that. It probably hurts their bottom line a little bit, but you know what? I think that people are not necessarily going to the movies less. We see that story from time to time. Box office is down, less tickets are being sold. That's generally contingent upon what Hollywood is putting out.
Right.
I mean, more tickets are being sold this year, and box office is doing well because Hollywood's putting out a product we want to see. We like to go to the movies. We like the camaraderie. We time and time again we've heard that narrative that the home theater is messing up the theatrical business and those theater venues, and less people are going to movies. And that's just not the case. We like the communal feeling of going to the movies, and I don't really see that changing much in the future. Maybe it'll take a little bit of a blow because of what happened, and that's awful. But we're people, and the bottom line is we all like to be together.
Yeah. And not to mention, the popcorn at my house never tastes as good as the popcorn at the theater. Let's just face
So
it.
true.
That's a true story. You just never put as much butter on.
That is a
All
fact.
right. David Blaustein, thanks so much for coming on the show, and we hope you start feeling better, my friend. You sound
Thank
like
you. Thank you. Just so you know, it's Blaustein.
Blaustein.
You have my permission
I've
to
said
say
it 4
whatever.
different ways. I figure I keep trying. I'll get it right.
I tried to help, but
Exactly.
it's not easy.
You're lucky because I wouldn't call you. Nobody says Buke. Nobody calls you Buke.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
It's very
Buck's
easy.
pretty hard to
Mine
screw
is
up.
a little more complicated.
Okay, I deserve that. Thank you, David.
Have a good
Take care.
weekend,
Have
David.
a great
Bye-bye.
weekend. Hey, we've got Johnny Londoff and Dan Farrell right around the corner. Stay tuned.